Okay, so this video we are going to start with example number 1. Tell whether the given rational expression is proper or improper. If proper, rewrite it as the sum of a polynomial and a proper rational expression. Okay, so again, remind you guys that a proper fraction is when the top is smaller than the bottom, and an improper is when the top is bigger. Now in polynomial, we are using degrees. Okay, so example 1. The degree on the top for number a, the degree is the highest power or exponent, so it's going to be 1. The degree on the bottom is 3. So this, as you can see, the top is smaller, so this is definitely proper. If it's proper, you just write proper and you move on. If it's improper, then that's when you have to do a bit more work. Okay, so on the top, your degree on the top is going to be 4 because the highest power is 4. The degree on the bottom is 3. So when it's improper, you have to first write the answer. Okay. Then it says if it's improper, rewrite it as the sum of the polynomial and a proper rational expression. This calls for long division. Okay. So how do we do long division? We divide it normally. Okay. So I'm going to do a hockey stick. So if I give you 2475 and I say divide it by 5, right? Would you, or let's say 4 because I want a remainder. Then back in the days, you go before calculator, you go 4 goes right here, 2475 goes here, and then you divide it out. Same thing, okay? But inside we have 3x to the 4th. I don't have an x to the 3rd, so fill it in with 0. These are called dummy terms with a 0x to the 3rd. Anytime you have a missing term, you fill it in with 0. Plus 1x squared. I don't have an x, so fill it in with the dummy term, 0x minus 2. Similarly to the bottom. You have an x to the 3rd. I don't have any square term, so fill that in with 0. I don't have any x term, fill in with 0, and then a minus 8. Well, back in the days, how do we divide? We take this and we say, well, 24 divided by 4 is 6. 6 times 24 is 24. Well, and then we go and go, well, I have to change the sign to negative, so we're going to subtract. So that gives me a 0. Then we go further and we drop down to 7. Same exact thing. Are you ready? Over here, I have 4 terms, so I'm going to start with all 4 terms, okay? And so we go, we take this first term and we look at this. We say 3x to the 4th divided by x to the 3rd. That will allow me to write 3x. And we multiply it all back, just like what we did here. So 3x times x to the 3rd is now 3x to the 4th. 3x times 0, or 3x times anything, is now 0x to the 3rd. 0 times anything is 0. 3x times 0x, again, is 0x squared. 3x times a negative 8 is a negative 24x. Now, just like back in the days, we go in and change the signs, right? Whatever sign we had before, we change it up so we can combine them. When we do that, these guys are gone. Now, the zeros and zeros are gone. The x squared minus 0x squared is now I still have an x squared. And 0 and a positive 24 is now positive 24x. And then that's what I have. Now what do you next? You drop down the 5. Same thing. You drop down the negative 2. Well, in this case, when I drop down the negative 2, I can't really divide anymore because this x to the 2nd, what I mean by x to the 2nd is this right here, is not big enough to divide by x to the 3rd. So that is my remainder. So that's what they mean by rewrite it as a polynomial and a proper rational expression. They want you to write it as 3x is your answer, plus, okay, plus we have your remainder, which is x squared plus 24x minus 2 all over x to the 3rd minus 8. So now that's what they mean. Okay. Now for you guys, back in the days, can you see that I have the 75 right here? I'm sorry, drop down to 7. I forgot to divide that. So 7 divided by 4 is going to be 1, right? 1 times 4, I'm out of space. So now I have 7. 1 times 4 is 4. You change the signs, that's 3. Now you drop down the 5. So now you have 35. Now 35 divided by 4, not evenly, but I can try, what, 8. 8 times 4 is going to be 32. We go in and we change the sign. Well, as you can see, this is a remainder of 3. So back in the days, we write 3 over 4. But the reason we can just write it next to each other is because technically, this is really 618 plus 3 over 4. But when I do in math, basic math, when you add numbers, plus 3 over 4 is really 618 and 3/4, right? But in polynomial, you can't really do that, so you have to keep this plus sign, okay? All right, and this is the end of example 1.